Imagine waking up to find that the vibrant, meaningful artwork painted on your neighborhood crosswalk has vanished overnight. That's exactly what happened in Orlando, Florida, where a new law championed by Governor Ron DeSantis has sparked heated debate over the removal of crosswalk art. At the center of this controversy is Senate Bill 1662, a piece of legislation tied to state traffic safety standards. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this really about safety, or could there be more at play? Let's dive into the details and explore why this issue has ignited such strong emotions across the state. For 2 consecutive days, Governor Ron DeSantis addressed concerns surrounding the removal of street art from crosswalks during public appearances. The most prominent example involves the now infamous rainbow-colored crosswalk near Pulse Nightclub, a site of immense cultural significance following the tragic mass shooting in 2016. During a news conference focused on unrelated investigative subpoenas, News 6 reporter Laverne McGee pressed DeSantis for clarification regarding the ongoing tensions between local communities and the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT. Specifically, she asked about FDOT's decision to strip away the colorful pavement markings outside Pulse. DeSantis explained that recent legislative action prohibits street art in crosswalks, emphasizing that this move was not content-specific, but rather aimed at maintaining uniformity. He stated, "The legislature passed a change in law recently, which said there's no street art allowed." According to him, FDOT had issued updated guidelines months earlier reminding municipalities of these rules, while DeSantis framed the issue as one of consistency. Critics argue that his explanation oversimplifies and perhaps misrepresents the legal framework behind the crackdown. But what exactly does the law say? This question prompted News 6 to seek answers directly from the governor's office. Unfortunately, their inquiries went unanswered. Instead, they were redirected to FDOT, which has yet to respond to multiple requests for comment. Interestingly, FDOT itself approved the original Pulse crosswalk design back in 2017. So how did we get here? State Representative Anna Eskamani, representing Orlando, pushed back against DeSantis's interpretation of events. In an interview with News 6, Eskamani clarified that what occurred wasn't a new law per se, but rather a rule change implemented in late June. She pointed out that updates to the so-called Green Book, a manual outlining federal and state traffic regulations, differ fundamentally from enacting statutory laws. A rule change to the Green Book is not the same as a new law, Eskamani emphasized. Rules can evolve rapidly without undergoing the rigorous legislative process required for passing actual laws. While News 6 couldn't pinpoint specific legislation banning street art outright, Senate Bill 1662 appears to align closely with DeSantis's remarks. Passed during the latest legislative session and signed into law by the governor in June, SB 1662 mandates that local governments comply strictly with FDOT's traffic safety policies. Earlier this year, FDOT revised its standards to prohibit non-uniform traffic control devices, including decorative pavement markings on both state and local roads. Furthermore, the bill grants authority to withhold state transportation funding if jurisdictions fail to meet compliance. In discussing the matter publicly, DeSantis acknowledged approving funds for a memorial honoring the victims of the Pulse tragedy. However, he stopped short of addressing the backlash stemming from the removal of the rainbow crosswalk specifically. For many residents, the loss of this symbolic artwork feels like erasure, a sentiment compounded by the fact that city officials estimate removal costs will reach approximately $85,000. To add insult to injury, the state reportedly won't reimburse Orlando for those expenses. Florida Statute 316.0745 provides some nuance to the discussion. It states that FDOT may allow exceptions to uniform traffic control systems if there's sufficient justification. Yet, according to a city spokesperson, Orlando has already begun removing non-compliant designs identified in a letter from FDOT. This raises important questions. Should exceptions be made for artistic expressions that hold deep community value? And should aesthetic considerations take precedence over rigid adherence to technical standards? This situation invites differing perspectives. Some might agree with DeSantis that uniformity enhances safety, while others see the ban as stifling creativity and silencing marginalized voices. What do you think? Do laws like SB 1662 strike the right balance between order and expression, or do they go too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.